Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Deep Agents, episode 13 of 16. You fire off a complex query, your supervisor agent delegates to 3 parallel subagents, and your user sits watching a generic loading spinner for 2 straight minutes. That is terrible user experience, and to fix it, you need to expose exactly what is happening under the hood. The answer is Subgraph streaming UX. Multi-agent workflows are inherently asynchronous and slow. When a main agent delegates tasks, it creates a block box. If you just wait for the final combined result, the user assumes the application froze. You have to stream the subagent activity directly to the front end. A common mistake developers make here is assuming that when subagents stream tokens, those tokens are just blindly appended to the main agent output stream. If that were true, parallel outputs would interleave into a garbled mess of text. Instead, the framework handles this by isolating every single event into its own namespace. To get this working, you use the version 2 streaming format and pass a flag setting subgraphs to true when you call your stream. When you do this, the stream no longer yields raw chunks of text, it yields dictionaries. Every dictionary contains 3 specific keys: type, NS, and data. Type tells you what kind of event you are looking at. Data holds the actual payload or text token, and NS stands for namespace. This is the part that matters. The namespace is a tuple defining the exact path of the node that generated the event. If a chunk comes from the main agent, the namespace tuple is empty. If it comes from a subagent, the namespace contains the path. It looks like a tuple containing the word tools followed by a unique subagent ID. Say you are building a front-end dashboard. A user asks the system to plan a vacation. The supervisor agent spawns 3 separate subagents, one for flights, one for hotels, and one for activities. In your front-end code, you loop over the incoming stream. By checking the namespace key on every dictionary chunk, you know exactly which subagent generated that specific token. You can then route that data to separate UI components. Instead of a single stuck spinner, your user sees 3 individual loading bars or text windows filling up with real-time outputs side by side. Sometimes you need to push information that is not just a language model token. Maybe you want to push a custom status update, like notifying the UI that an external API is being called. You can do this from inside a node using the getStreamWriter function. You retrieve the writer, pass it your custom dictionary, and it injects that data directly into the overall stream under the current subagent namespace. The front end receives it exactly like any other event and updates the correct specific loading bar. If you want to help keep the show going, you can support us by searching for devstories.eu on Patreon. Multi-agent transparency is fundamentally a routing problem. Mapping namespace tuples to independent UI components is what turns a frustrating black box into a premium user experience. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.